Hey fellow skeptics, Lester the Skeptic Tank here once again. I'm going to try to demonstrate using VirtualBox. I think I have the stuff I needed so I can set up Windows. So I have my... Oh. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's something to do with it. I'm going to probably have to redo my... Well, that's what happens when you don't use a tool in such a while. You forget the parameters around a setup you had done before. So what I'm going to try... Create a new... So what I'm going to do is consolidate. Because honestly, how many games will I have? I don't know how many games I'll end up having. But this seems to be a prime candidate. And you can select the items which we use to install the guest operating system. So I am going to specify, because I believe I know where this is. I'm going to go into storage. This looks to be the ISO I want. Nope. Oh, great. I think it's this one. Okay. I have to pick up guest editions. Whatever. Okay. Alright. Let me see if I can go ahead and get that taken care of. Bear with me while I do that. Go into new volume. That's where I'm putting a lot of stuff, especially since I removed the Madden ISO I thought was legit, and yeah, you'll run into that when you're on the interwebs. Never know. So what I'm gonna do is try to use what I've got. I hope it's just a simple copy and paste. Stolen that. Guest editions. Okay. What will prevent me from stolen background? What will prevent me from... You can configure guest list by modifying username and password. For Microsoft, guess it is possible to provide a product key. Yeah, what I'm doing is setting up the parameters. Because at least what I see is I don't see an area where I can what's the I need to let's see what happens. So, okay, base memory. So, this is pretty self-explanatory. This is also based on what you have physically installed. So what do I want to do? I don't think it's going to hurt that I allocate half of my RAM roughly, nor is it going to hurt that I utilize 5 of my available processors, whether we're talking physical, logical. So I'm going to give it that. Create a virtual disk hard drive. So I'm going to go the safe side here, roughly that. And we'll see what happens. Supposedly it's running. Preview. I'm going to go show. So now it's telling me I'm going to restart. Machine reset. I'm going to do that. Reset. And I'm going to hit a key. So at least it finds my ISO and it determines it's a valid boot ISO. It's properly mounted in. Okay. And as you're saying, this is simply windowed mode. I believe it's set to scale. So for example, oh no, it's not. Kind of don't want it to be full screen just yet, because if I set my window in VirtualBox to scaled mode, it'll look a lot better, and it might make it easier for me to treat VirtualBox as another app, in part of my multitasking ventures. So I'll be intrigued to see. It's been a while. I really find it interesting. I don't think I was asked to enter a product key. I have one just in case. That's another thing I had to make sure of, is that way I didn't want to run into a collision with my local windows. I've had that happen to me before. And then I'm just waiting to see if I can get it to boot once the installation is done. You might have seen in my Slackware setup that was a little bit tricky. Alright, it's not taking as quickly as I thought it was going to, so I'll be a bit, and we'll go from there. Alright, looks good so far. So, as you might have noticed when the initial attempts to boot into the setup, I didn't hit the key like I should have. Now that I supposedly had Windows installed on the storage device, once I ignored the prompts to press a key to boot, good thing to know that it's booting into the storage device, and it should take me to an interface of sorts. Now, I've given a lot of grief about the whole Windows experience, and I still do. There are some things I will give it credit. So, whether you like it or not, it is a bit more convenient to have your updates, because I remember this happening either for the first time. I think Windows 10 was the first Windows to really preemptively get your updates. that does save a lot of setup, especially when I was putting together computers back in the day, setting up Windows for them, and just having to go through the entire process of rebooting after rebooting after rebooting. It is taking its time getting ready, though, I'll admit. And by the way, I appreciate those who provided feedback on my most recent videos, particularly about the volume. Not everyone's system will be able to transmit audio as loudly as necessary. That's no fault of the person experiencing it. I do have to look into what I can do to make sure that's a better experience for them. So I think I've raised the volume a tad. So okay, let's see what's going to happen now. Okay. All right, that's a good sign. So just going to keep I'm going to keep in mind what I might be able to accomplish. So there will be some testing, because based on the games I've been able to purchase and install, media games coming to mind are the ones that are more DOS/Windows based versus entirely Windows based. Because if you're not familiar, VirtualBox doesn't exactly provide the best 3D acceleration experience. So when you want to play those intensive games, it's always best to put in a native environment. And as I'm saying, looking at the update process, that's kind of nice that I don't have to do it as soon as I'm in the interface, because it is a little cumbersome to get into the interface, log in, and then start the update process, wait for it to push down, and then install, and then depending on the update type, some might need you to reboot the machine before installing others. Oh, this is very cool. Okay. And I think I was able to get the guest editions integrated. So we'll see what I can get away with. So far, so good. A lot better than my Linux experience on VirtualBox, but we'll see. I think for me would be the nice thing about having VirtualBoxes is being able to put together different distributions. Just in case people had questions, I'm more than happy to do the digging and the research. And I'll let you know if I come up with an answer that might help you solve a problem. You know, not saying that I'm Mr. Fix-It, but if in the comments you have a question, or if you think, hey, I haven't been able to figure it out. I don't know. I like to think I'm okay. I'm pretty good at Google Foo or DuckDuckGoing. Part of that's how I survived in my tech support jobs I've had for 5.5 years. So, you know, I don't like having to peddle my pedigree, but I think you might have heard some of the story here and there in some of my other videos. Oh, there we go. Ew. Yeah, Windows and it's okay. So what can I do? I would like to see, second of all, because I did prompt for the guest editions. Guest editions in VirtualBox, for those unfamiliar, they install the supplementary drivers and what have you. Let me see what I can get. I'm going to let everything else load. Yeah. It's not my favorite. Again, I'll give credit where I can. I'll give it credit. If I think it's got a worthwhile set of features, I'll call it out. But it's still Windows. I don't know if I have to double click or if I have to right click. Still loading. See if I can go to get out of my way, search. No. Ew. No, I don't. Oh, that. Ugh. Get out of my way. I don't. There you go. This might be it. Yeah. Dust editions. Yeah. There it is. Yep, there it is. Direct 3D support. Again, to what degree and what extent, I'm not entirely sure. So it's like there isn't a lot I can guarantee in terms of playing games. Okay, so this will be fun. Oh yay, updates. Oh no, yuck. There I go again with the what I did last night when I hadn't gone back to Windows in a month almost. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do the same things, believe it or not, that I've been able to do in Linux that I need to do in Windows. Mainly, what do I want to use to record me playing games or testing games? Because that's the extent of my play for the most part. Again, it goes back to my fear of time sucks. If the game is that good. So let's take a peek. It looks like the display had scale mode. Switch. So this is scale mode at work. And yeah, I can technically make it full screen, but you know, it's just that proportion, balanced proportion of what do I need to do to get that out of my hair? What's this business? I don't want this. Is this a VirtualBox thing? Maybe. Okay, whatever. So what I'm going to do, no. No. Yeah, but you can't render pages to save your life, Edge. As my old boss called it. Chrome wannabe. And you'll see this more prevalently with what I was going to say. Once I get it all put together. So the main thing I'm going to try to demonstrate is how differently Linux, Mac, and Windows treat the use of virtual desktops as well as multiple monitors. Because I think if it still does it like I think it does in Mac, it's pretty cool. Mac treats it a little bit differently than Linux does. Because if my memory serves without demonstrating it, Mac treats each monitor as almost its own workspace without calling it a workspace, if that makes sense. It'll be interesting because I want to know in terms of my workaround for Peacock and then my workaround for running QuickBooks. As much as I want to try to get away from it, I'm going to have to play with UvBiz more since the last time I tried it. The main reason why is even though I do have a perpetual version because they stopped after version 2021 as the version of QuickBooks One can have forever. After that, when 22 was released, it's now a subscription and there's no way around it. On the principal level, businesses have to figure, do they want the bookkeeping software to be a recurring, what is it called? A recurring expense, a recurring transaction. And that builds up over time. Now, there is another bit of recurring nature when it comes to that stuff, and that's in the maintenance. You might have to hire a guy, but it's usually going to be in an a la carte situation. I don't know if there's going to be a need to have regular maintenance done. QuickBooks, in my experience, having supported it and so on, there's always the chance that you're going to have to do maintenance weekly, if not daily, if you're not careful. There is a method to the madness that is QuickBooks for Windows, and especially QuickBooks for Mac. What the Mac side of it, I honestly don't know what that really entails because I'm not in that as much as I was in Windows. But I've gotten myself super familiar with Mac since I've been doing stuff in that area. Is there a way? Delete finish notifications. There we go. Can I hit reset? Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Continue. And let's see what I can get away with in here. I know I'm in scaled mode, but I wonder. Let's see. Get this notification out of our way. I don't know what the one. Oh, do not disturb. Whatever. I don't know about you guys, but okay. Let's see what happens if I do it like. Do I want to do it 16 by 9? Let's see what this looks like. Keep changes. Ew. I want something like that. Keep changes. That looks a little more sane. Doesn't look too squishy. The main thing I get a little peeved is even for Amazon, they give me that warning of, oh, I'm sorry, the browser does not support HD or full HD, whatever that's supposed to mean. Should be able to go on the interweb. Don't tell me I have to. I was able to download Vivaldi. What's the deal? Am I not spelling Peacock correctly? Is it now peacock.com? Oh, I have to include www. Am I not being allowed? Oh, there I am. Okay. Let's see. Oh, gotta love it. See if I remember my password. Alright, looks like I've established something so I can log in and do a quick run through. I'm just about ready to, not here. Yes, it's been linked. Here goes nothing. You better not whine at me because I'll be intrigued to see if my... Let's check. Let's go to settings. Let's go to system. It looks like I'm activated. Good to know. And good to know I haven't been given a flag. Oh, this Windows is on another machine. Alright. Good. Okay, so it shows. Now the real question will be, is if it depends on how immersive I wanted to make it. Because at least until I get the error I pointed out, I could get to these and I can watch preview videos. Twisted Metal. I already got Super Mario on 4K. Do I want any other title on 4K or Blu-ray? I don't know. So I'm mainly testing to see, number one, performance in the windowed mode. Number two, if I don't get that flag I had previously reported. Looks like I won't. I'm hoping not. Okay. It's taking its time though. Oh, I think I was part of... Please don't tell me this is because of the do not disturb. Okay. I can see video, but interesting. Alright, so I found out a few things I probably could have used in configuring this. So I got 32 gigs, or at least I've allocated such. Allocated 6 of my processors. I could have and should have. I don't know if this will affect me, but oh, that's about as high as it goes. Okay. 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 That looks to be the best. And let's see if it says invalid settings. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I'll get a virtual blue screen of death. I haven't had to do too much of that. Okay. That looks a little better. I'm just gonna see if I switch. Display settings. Okay, and I'm going to see if I can do the same with number 2. What can I do? Make this my display. What am I doing with this? Okay. Huh. Okay. Caused it to crash. Alright. I was trying to set up dual displays, but I don't. Yeah, I get it. I'll probably just do one display. I think that was the original plan to begin with. Although it would have been nice to show. But I can explain that at least for Windows and Linux, the relationship between the desktops, they're pretty much linked together. And so however many desktops you have, you can have more than one set of workspaces with the 2 monitors. So one thing I'm going to try I do have Vivaldi. I'm just gonna take this one and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. At least with this one. I'll keep it to that. I don't know about wanting to. Looks to move okay. GOG.com. And yeah, I can feel free to download the archived files I already have supplied, but you know, I don't know. I like to keep it simple when I can. If it requires I add my archiving drive, I'll work with that. So I'm going to sign in again because I have my password manager now linked. As long as I know it's going to give me the right feedback. I'm going to close this out. There it goes. See if I can use the extension. Can I fill it? I can at least copy the password there. Yeah, and that's my scaling for you. And I'm going to paste my password. Alright, I'm going to plug in my authentication. Okay. Now I should be able to access my library. I don't know about accessing my peripherals. I might need to install, if I haven't, might need to install the extension for VirtualBox. See if I want to try. Because I don't think I was able to install and run it. I could be wrong. I could retry this in my Linux environment. But it doesn't hurt to see what happens. Am I in the wrong section? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I know that one works. I know these work. Heroes of the Kingdom works. I think this is the one I was having trouble with. So let's see. The thing with me in QuickBooks is if I'm going to install it here, I'm going to have it, the Office suite installed. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm just going to save it. And if you're seeing how fast things are moving, typically the site doesn't do a quick job of of downloading games, and I'm okay with that. Again, with the internet, you only go as fast as the slowest person on the other end, and there are other factors determining that, because wherever this is sourced, it's got to go. It's got to go through different hops. Again, it's just so I can figure out how far do I need to go with respect to Windows. Do I need to put these games? Do I really have to put these games in my native Windows environment? I understand that is going to be the best case scenario. But what's the second base? Second to the best. Second best. That's what I meant to say. Second best case scenario where I don't have to leave my Linux environment. Because, at least Windows is it's in a sandbox of sorts. And Echo is, quote, shut off the machine, if you will. Okay, so this looks done. Let's see if I can run the installation. Never. Did I not double click fast enough? Oh, there it goes. Yep. And as you might have seen, compared to Linux, the installation is slower because it sees it as a native Windows program. So you never know. Well, then again, I'm doing this in VirtualBox, so it might be perceived as a quicker effort, like you're kind of seeing now. So I'm going to be interested to see, because of the age of this game, I'm gonna see what I can get away with. So if I can house a good number of these classic Windows games, like as you're seeing here. Let's see. Hey, look at that. With Wine, it was kind of going into like a different corner. I couldn't grab parts of the screen. Yes, it kind of looks a little bit smaller, but at least I have some reign with the graphical settings. See if I can. Trying to see what buttons or keys I can get away with. At least I know spacebar pauses it. I might have to go back into the Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. And more so I need to be... So they're saying back buffer or system texture size, available video mode, view size. Can I get away with this? I'm going to hit OK. Can I get away with that? And I'm going to hit sure, why not? Gameplay. Display. Controls. Okay. Let's see how it moves in a quick. If you say so. Single player. Okay. So what does that mean about my memory? I know I set it to like a pretty low rating. But hey, there's that. And holding down control and then F, that takes me out of that. Then I can do this business. I can just shut it down. Alright, well hopefully that gives you some ideas. I might fool around more with the setting up the VirtualBox. I'm just intrigued that I only have that much memory to work with, but okay. Alright, well until the next video, fellow skeptics, thanks again. Take it easy, peace, and catch you on the other side.